Oh, yeah. Freak out, freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future. Yeah, and I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er mind is
it's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er mind. 49er mind. I can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session about our red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions, let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how it's been in the spot. Let's call that back, call that crack, call that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the story line, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49er minded.
It's not just a thought process,
49er minded,
but a way of life. The Shard.
49er minded.
Way of life.
49er minded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. We got some people waiting patiently. We got Melissa Rebelli in the house. She says, let's go Bash and JV. We do have Fazil. What's up, Fazil? Says Bashar and John V. Thank you. Brandon, well. What's up, bro? Raphael 5629er says, what's up? Bashar, John V, and everyone. And without further ado, let me bring him on. He is John V from the Locker Room Rant. How you doing, bro?
What's up, family? Good to see you, bro.
Great to see you as always. John V is from the Locker Room Rant. It's a YouTube channel where he's a 49er fan. He's arguing with his friend that's a Bills fan and his other friend that's a Browns fan. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it's in the description box of this video. Definitely check them out. There's always good stuff on there. And we got one more person creeping in. Says KREW Vibe says, let's go. You're new to the channel, so welcome to the channel. And yeah, let's get things started, man. How's your day going so far? How about that?
Dude, it's been eventful, man. But it was same old, bro. Nothing new. Man, here in Ohio, the Cavs are killing it right now. So that's big right now. The Browns,
yeah, my Warriors lost today. My Warriors lost today, and they've been losing games that they shouldn't have been losing. So I'm not really too happy about that. But that's good that you think you have an eventful day. But hey, great way to end your day with a nice little cold beer. I was telling you about that Italian beer that I had, Peroni. I'm not a big beer drinker, but Peroni was really, really nice when I had it recently at that Italian restaurant that I went to. And a lot of stuff has been going on, man. Brandon says Dubs would be killing me. Yeah, me too. A lot of stuff's been going on with the 49ers, with the NFL. The trade deadline just hit. Obviously, right before the trade deadline, a few days before, we did pick up CMC. Awesome trade. I haven't talked to you on here about that yet. And just some quick little thoughts about CMC and his last performance, and then we can talk about some other stuff that happened.
Well, if you remember, bro, I was, on the camera and off the camera, whether it was my show or here, we lacked creativity, Bash. We lacked creativity. So with the CMC trade, I'm starting to see explosive plays. I'm starting to see creativity, right? I'm starting to see this trade transpire into something great. And as long as we can continue this, sky's the limit for this team, bro. I love it. I was stoked.
And I do forget that we did talk live on after the Chiefs game, and CMC was already on our team, and we actually finally got to see the real deal of what CMC can be with this offense now. And the interesting thing is that of course sure one more week in the system. I was expecting to see a lot more touches and a lot more carries, but I wasn't expecting to see this immediate explosion. But I totally welcome it at the same time. I was watching Grant Cohn and Larry Krueger, and they were talking about it, and they were coming up with the theory that they think CMC is the best offensive player on this team, or the best player, period, on this team. I don't know if I go that far, but I mean, I'm not going to argue with them at the same time either.
Certainly, bro. There could be some truth to that, Bash, and I'll tell you why. Look at the athleticism in CMC. Look at a guy that can throw a touchdown pass, He makes this team better in so many ways, bro. Like, and I don't even think we've seen it yet. Like this dude can stretch himself out and make catches that guys on this team should be making that aren't. Like Juwan Jennings, for example, right? Picked up this dude as an end zone threat, right? Getting a big body receiver in there and muscling his way up to get the ball, bro. And we do not see that. We saw CMC stretch, bro. Stretch and make an amazing catch. So that's just
who's
told
the last
me, like,
49er that's done that? I can't even recall a 49er player that's done that in recent years.
I mean, Anquan Bolden was pretty amazing. I mean, he could go up and get the ball. He was pretty aggressive and he was huge. But outside of that, like Crabtree may have had a few flashy catches. Before that, bro, I mean, I don't know, man. Jerry was always great at stretching himself out to get up there and get it, but CMC just made an awesome catch. That was like on the outside, right? Like right to the end zone. Like, bro, perfect. I don't know. It amped me up, man. It really made that trade really ignite.
Yeah, I definitely woke up in the first half once they did that little swing pass to him, and then he threw it to Ayuk, and that was pretty sick. And now, because I was like, man, this game sucks. It's so boring. And boom, this guy brought excitement right back to the team.
Yep.
And it's pretty awesome. I was watching the game over at a Round Table Pizza in Old Town Sacramento. This new 49er group that's been putting together a 49er watch parties over in my area. It's called the 49er Sacramento Faithfuls. So I wanted to give them a plug and a shout out to Leo, who runs the 49er Sacramento Faithfuls. I have their beautiful t-shirt on, and he hooked me up with one of these nice little towels. So shout out to the 49er Sacramento Faithfuls. Definitely wanted to give them a plug. They're great people. I had a lot of fun watching the game with them. And what's she saying? Melissa's saying, I'm so done with Juwan getting dragged.
No, I'm not even going to drag him. I mean, she knows I love JJ. It's not a drag. It's just that I think that, we need to involve him in the end zone a lot more.
I wish he was more involved, because I do love his talent, and he has pretty good run after the catch ability too. For somebody who was kind of seen as a slower guy, he ran like a 4.7. He ran some weird, super slow 40 time, but he's actually gotten a lot better condition, and he is a lot faster now than when we first got him. Oh, so speaking of my shirt, Fazil says nice shirt, and Bashar and hat, and Fazil also says, my man John V, I love your hoodie and your hat. There you go.
Thanks, bro. This is like 2000. This is the 2012 shirt. This was the Kings of the NFC when we won the division in 2012.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a 49er hoodie. Now I can see it. Now I see the symbol. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Melissa says, love the hat. Thank you. This is the hat I always wear for all the shows. I was thinking about getting a new hat. They actually have these 49er hats. I forgot who puts them out on Instagram. I follow the Instagram account. And one of my guests, Del G, had the hat on. They have this like 49er Lego hat. It's like built up of all these Lego pieces, and it says 49ers. It's really, really sick. It's pretty pricey, but if I do end up getting it, I'll definitely show it off on the show without a doubt.
There's a dude that does some amazing work by hand. He paints jerseys, hats, shoes, bro. He's on Twitter and Instagram. He's amazing, bro.
If you find him, link him to me if I don't know who he is already.
Oh my God, it's awesome. I'll look it up here while you're chopping it up. But he does this. I don't even know what the design is. It's like a tribal design, and it's amazing. He does the letters, he does the numbers, like on your jerseys, bro.
Like a Hawaiian type tribal design, or
maybe Samoan.
Okay, because I saw one that looked like a Hawaiian / Polynesian design. It was
it could be. It was a
Hufanga jersey.
Yes,
it was a Hufanga jersey, but it was like a customized Polynesian design. It was sick. I forgot who it was on Twitter to put it, but I definitely saw the picture.
Awesome.
Definitely saw the picture. Yeah. So we're speaking about our new awesome running back, and we unfortunately did depart from our other running back, Jeff Wilson Jr. What did you think about that trade to Miami?
I don't know, man. For a 5th round pick, it was risky. I think it was risky. I like Jeff. I mean, he's been a juggernaut here, bro. He put the team on his back and carried us a few times. dude's just a great running back. I think he was in North Texas. I think he came out. Great program there. I just, bro, I like Jeffrey Wilson. I don't know. I don't know if I'm stoked about the trade, because if you look at Miami now, bro, with the picks with the first that they got, they've got Waddle. They managed. Now I'm talking about the draft capital between the moving up to get Trey. You've got Waddle, Hill. Who else did they get with the capital? I know. Hill and Waddle, and I'm trying to think who else they got with the capital that we gave up. Nonetheless, bro, they added Jeffrey Wilson to their stable of running backs, and I don't know. I'm gonna miss him, man, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. I hope.
I hope too. Again, and back to Larry Krueger. Larry Krueger, who I watch a lot from time to time. I've had him on my show. He's a great NFL analyst, former NFL scout, just a great guy who's on 95.7 The Game radio station, has his own YouTube channel. Shout out to him. He thinks TDP and who's the other, and Mason are both better than Jeff Wilson Jr. He firmly believes that after this trade even. So, of course, I'm worried about the health of our running backs. CMC himself has gotten hurt. Elijah Mitchell is just now coming off an injury. We're going to have him back. Two great talents, and CMC is a superstar in my opinion. TDP's a nice bruiser. I was watching, what I was doing? I was literally watching TDP's best college highlights yesterday, and he does some nice things, man. I watched a little bit of his preseason highlights, and he was exhibiting some of the same talents on there too. So we'll see how it goes with our running back room. I'm not really too worried. I just wanted more compensation. I'm tired of strengthening the Dolphins. I'm tired of the Dolphins racking up talent, stacking up talent. I want to say what's up to Cynthia. She always comes by, says, came by to hit that like. How you doing, Cynthia? I'm going to hit up Childs one day. It's an inside joke between me and Cynthia. And Javier's in the house. Javier says, "Que pasa, amigos? How you doing, bro? Always good to have you." Yeah, the Dolphins just got Bradley Chubb, just like Melissa said. I don't know how the Broncos were so stupid. I'm sorry. You do not give up your pass rushers. People who command a double team, why give them up like that? I'm sorry. Especially to the AFC. They're in the AFC. The Dolphins are there. Yep. I don't get it. What do you think about that?
No, Bradley Chubb, that was the other one that was slipping my mind. Just look at the compensation. Look at what they've done with the compensation from San Francisco. This is what they did, dude. They built a squad, bro. They have Mike McDaniel there. They have Mostert there. They have Jeffrey Wilson there. They have who else did they get from San Francisco? Mostert. Who else went down there?
Yeah, they got Mostert. They got Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, they got what's his name? The receiver from Arizona that was
Tyreek.
A
A receiver that was a Niner.
Yeah, he was like our four. He was the number 4 on our roster, bro.
You see the Dolphins have him right now?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. It's off the top of my head.
He couldn't have been that good if he's a wide receiver. And I forget.
He was decent. He was decent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have River Craycraft there. Do they have River Craycraft there?
That's who you're talking about, River Craycraft.
There's another dude. I think they have someone else too. What the hell's his name, bro? He's a veteran. Doesn't matter.
All right. I know. I definitely know it's River Craycraft's there. Ty Hollins on Crazy Niner podcasts are pretty deep. You're saying, oh yeah. There's what's funny? I'm subscribed to almost every Niner podcast out there. Ones that maybe just started only have 10 subscribers because I just love supporting the community. But I can't if you're going to tell me to name every 49er podcast out there. Again, I'd probably be here for the next hour, and I wouldn't be able to name everybody. That's how many of them exist. It's just a reality. Pretty crazy with the trades. I didn't want the 49ers to sit there and do more trades. There's some Niner fans that just assume that we have a plethora of picks, and they just want us to trade the whole farm for every single player out there, and that's not reality. We're not. This isn't Madden. This isn't fantasy football. So with that's that. And go ahead. Let's see a second. Okay, so we're gonna get into the mid-season reviews, and we got Brandon already here. I was gonna bring him on, but he brought himself on. He knows how to do it himself. That's all good. Don't worry, man. You're here. And we just got done talking about all the trades and everything else. Let's start with the midseason grades and just with the midseason in general. Because what are we? We're 4-4 right now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're 4-4. I mean, what game so far would you say was the biggest letdown? And go ahead, John, you go first, and Brandon, you go next.
Oh man, the biggest letdown, bro. I mean, I want to say Chicago, but weather. I hate using the weather. I would say probably Denver. I think Denver. Denver was probably the biggest letdown because when the schedule came out, I had Denver beating us before I actually saw who Denver was. After we saw Denver, I'm like, dude, this team sucks. Like they can't get it together, bro. Russell doesn't look like the first ballot Hall of Famer that he is. It was just like I had Denver beating us when the schedule came out, and then watching Denver, and then we played Denver, and I was I don't know, bro. That was the most disappointing. That was the most disappointing for me. Denver for sure.
How about you, Brandon?
I have to say, I have to say, Denver too. To be honest with you, that was just a letdown. Especially because it was on prime time for one, and two. I mean, we couldn't score anything besides 10 points, and we still couldn't beat. Like the defense was doing everything they could to keep us in the game and have the lead and everything, and we just couldn't do anything with the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that Denver game for sure.
And we also had that embarrassing. I'm gonna, the Chiefs game. I probably wanted the most out of all the games, not just because revenge for the Super Bowl or whatever, but just for the fact that it's a great measuring stick to if you beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, you'd be like, okay, wow, this defense actually is worth getting all the accolades that they were getting at the time. But I'm gonna throw a little curveball because that Atlanta Falcons game really pissed me off. That was just some bullshit. I'm sorry. You don't just go into Atlanta. And the 49er fan base, a lot of people aren't necessarily aware of this because the camera crews didn't necessarily demonstrate that. But the 49er fan base planned their huge takeover in Atlanta. And it was an enormous amount of 49er fans that showed up for that game in Atlanta. And for them to stink it up, and like you said, John V, a few weeks ago, he said they made Marcus Mariota look like Randall Cunningham in that game.
Yeah, bro. I mean, because we went into that game knowing that they were going to run the ball. We knew that they were going to run the ball. We knew that Mariota was going to get mobile. We knew that they could attack the middle, right? We right up the interior line is just it was just terrible, bro. We knew that they were going to we knew that they were going to attack that defensive line. I'm sorry. We knew that they were going to go right up the middle because mobile quarterbacks, since Russell in Seattle, attack the middle, bro. They spread us wide. They make us contain the outside edge, and then they just bolt right through the middle. Always, bro. Always. Going back 3-4 years now, bro. It's been the biggest weakness for mobile quarterbacks.
Mariota was more effective against us running the ball against our defense more so than Russell Wilson was when we played the Broncos. I mean, and you mentioned Russell Wilson earlier because the Broncos game, like he's definitely taken a few steps back. I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade on him as a football player because as a football player, I totally admire him, even though he killed us and he's a Niner killer or whatever and a great Hall of Fame player. If you just sit and watch the football player in a Seahawks uniform, amazing, beautiful football player to watch, but I don't know what happened to him in Denver. Let me say what's up to E Kim. How you doing, bro? Good to have you on. So I mean, we've definitely had a few letdowns this year. I mean, especially when our defense was playing at the number one level, and we're losing games that we shouldn't be losing. And the Denver game is obviously a huge one though because we only gave up. I forgot how many points. I think the defense only gave up 9 points, and then due to Jimmy G's safety, it was 11 points. So. That was we all ranted and bitched and moaned about that game more so than anything else. So let's talk about the positives because so the first half of the season, I'm gonna start with Brandon. Who would you say is your best player on offense in the first half of this 49ers NFL season?
Are we talking like offense and defense, or
Well, no. We're gonna do both sides of the ball.
okay?
But right now, it's offense.
Offense, okay. I'm gonna have to say Brandon Ayuk.
Okay, Brandon Ayuk. There you go.
Stepped up big time this season for sure. Especially going through the dog pound last year. He's gained the ball more, and he's tearing it up on the field, man. He's making guys miss, and he's gaining that yak. So I'm gonna say Brandon Ayuk.
Great choice, and Ayuk, man. I mean, we all saw even when he wasn't getting the ball, he was shaking people and breaking their knees, and it's a travesty for him not to get the ball downfield. And God willing, next year, we were talking about big letdowns, and my big letdown, another one is just not having Trey Lance this year. But God willing, next year Trey Lance is in the mix, and we see a lot more excitement. How about you, there, Mr. John V?
Ayuk is the number one, right? But for me, it was Jeffrey Wilson prior to the trade. I feel like this dude put us on his shoulders and he ran us. I think before the trade he had almost 500 yards. It
was like 454 yards. Yeah, he barely had any touches against the Rams. Yeah, but he had about 450 yards, 4 yards. Yeah, which was pretty good. He was on pace to get 1,000 yards, pretty much, if he was the main guy.
Did you think though that they were protecting Jeffrey during the Rams game? They knew they were moving him.
Now, hindsight, yes, definitely. Now you bring it up. Yeah.
It crossed my mind a little bit. I'm like, why are we not using Jeffrey Wilson right now? I don't understand. It was a showcase, or it was to protect him, so to speak. But we did showcase CMC in something amazing.
Whenever I hear CMC, I think of, two things. They're both music related. I'm a big music guy, big hip hop guy, more old school hip hop. So in the Bay Area growing up, the people who grew up in the 90s would know this because there was a channel called Channel 26, and they always had the California Music Channel. It was an after school type hip hop show. It was like a 1 hour hip hop show. They play all these rap songs. And at one point they even had Gary Radnich on there. I don't know if you guys know who Gary Radnich. He's like a famous Bay Area legend. He's a famous Bay Area legend in terms of covering the 49ers on radio and TV. And it's a local guy. And they even had him as a special guest once. So that was like a big hip hop show, CMC, California Music Factory, and California Music Channel. Then there was the famous group CMC Music Factory, right? The dance group. You probably remember them, John V. They had all those pop hits, CMC Music Factory.
I can't remember, bro.
If you hear them, you remember. If you look them up and hear them, what's that? No. I think they're from Miami. It was like a very popish, dancey kind of hip hop group. They're very popish, though. If you look up CNC Music Factory, you'll definitely remember them very well. But it's just funny. Everybody keeps saying CMC. That just totally pops in my head. My bad. I know I go off topic. Let me see what's up. Say what's up to Ryan from No Border Sports. What's up, everyone? How you doing, bro? Ryan and I always collab on the NWO podcast on 49ers First Takes channel. Every Monday we do that. And this guy said CMC is a hospital here in Mississippi. Well, hopefully he stays out of the hospital, and because he's been, he's had his history of injuries. The injuries haven't been kind to him at all during his career. And Melissa asked if you're sick, Brandon. I don't know if are you sick or okay. Okay. So now, grab a Red Bull, man. All right. So as far as my offensive player, I'm going to throw in a little dark horse candidate because a lot of people are saying Ayuk, and that's kind of like not the easy one, but he's got the ball in his hands. And this guy comes as a kind of more of a surprise, but his grades have been the highest so far for most of the offensive players on the 49ers. And that's Aaron Banks, our left guard, who just fell under scrutiny. Sure, but if you don't play your rookie year and your coaches are redshirting you, people see that as a huge major red flag, and they may assume that this guy sucks and he's garbage and he's trash. Why did we draft him? He's a bust. Yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm sorry. That guy whooped himself into shape this offseason. He's about the same weight. I think he's about 320 this season, but he's about the same weight as he was last year. But this year, more of that weight is muscle. And he's just playing a lot better. He's about top 10 in run blocking, and he's maybe top 5 or top 10 as far as giving up pressures. He barely his pressures are really low, and I think he only gave up 1 sack so far in the first half of the season. So Aaron Banks is, really stepped up to the plate. I'm really happy for the guy, and I was kind of defending him more so just like, let's wait and see. Let's see what he's made of before you throw that bust label at him.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I think a lot of people were. I think a lot of people instilled a lot of doubt in Banks. I think we were all kind of buying into it too. I think we were. I think I bought into it, bro. I thought that Banks probably was. He was a 3rd round pick, right?
Yes, he was out of Notre Dame.
Yeah. And I think we made a big. I think we bought into the hype that he was not going to be what we expected him to be. So there were a lot of picks that they should have taken at 3 and not an offensive lineman. Now looking back, this was probably the best thing because there's nobody on that offensive line other than he and Trent Williams that are grading so high. So I think Burford still it has been awesome. I think he's had a few down games, but I mean, Banks by far, bro. That's a great pick for you. That's a great pick.
Yeah, and I think in general the offensive line, we're talking about first half grades and all that. The offensive line, I think, has been the most surprising position group of this season so far. And if anybody thinks it's different, go ahead.
Yeah, we thought that the offensive line was going to be like terrible.
Exactly. And we had a lot of scares in the preseason to tell us that, right?
Yep.
But I still came up with a theory. I mean, not that I thought that they were going to be a dominant offensive line, but I was kind of holding off that, hey, let's wait and see what happens in the regular season, because I've seen it happen before where the O-lines have just looked terrible in the preseason and previous seasons, and they step in the regular season and things start to come in gel, and they start to scheme things for the O-line, and they work better as a unit. And again, we kind of lucked out again. Let me say what's up to Master Andy Kraft. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Says, stay home. I came here for a Bang Bang Niner gang. Channel 49 is here. He says, bring AJ Jenkins back. I love this guy. He's always coming up with some funny little comment. He's on my Instagram. Great dude on Instagram. But yeah, so that's how the offense is looking so far this first half. And let's talk about the defense. Of course, really quick, you guys mentioned Brandon Ayuk. Shout out to him. He's got about 4 touchdowns, and he's got a 120 quarterback rating when targeted this year. So that says a lot, even though he hasn't really put up major Pro Bowl, all pro level numbers. When they're throwing to him, he's got a 120 QB rating. So let's talk about the defense. Start with Brandon. Brandon, who is your defensive MVP so far of this 2022 season?
My boy, Nick Bosa.
There you go. You got to go with the Italian, right?
8 sacks, baby. I mean, guy's looking phenomenal. I think he's on his way to get about up there in 20 sacks for the season or something like that. So
knock on wood, he stays healthy, he could probably reach that. Either way, he's going to be terror for opposing quarterbacks.
Yep. And I'm excited to see what how many sacks he's going to have against the Chargers next week.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And is that game a home game or an away game?
That's a home game, and it's Sunday Night Football.
There you go. Beautiful. What do you think, John V? Who's your defensive first half MVP?
Bosa was definitely going to be my pick. So, B, you got that. You took that one from me, bro. I don't know, man. I'm trying to. Man, I have to say Bosa, bro. I have to say Bosa. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm an Ohio State Buckeye, bro.
Oh yeah, you Bosa, are a Buckeye. You're a Buckeye.
Oh my God, I love the dude. You can't deny that dude's a different kind of animal, man. He's a different kind of human being. It's a machine, bro.
And this guy brings up a great point. Hey, what's up, Dion? How you doing? Dion from Niner Game Podcast. Check out his YouTube channel. Says, oh, snap, Brandon, John V, and Bashar. Hell yeah, thank you very much, brother.
What's up, D?
He says, we are home for the next 5 games, technically including Mexico City. Yeah, the Mexico City you can pretty much count as a home game. And I just got off the phone with my friend yesterday, and he's like, he's going to the Mexico game. And I was just so jealous when he told me that.
I guess you could put Hufanga in there, bro. You know,
I was gonna say Hufanga because especially that he didn't even play. He barely played last year. He played special teams, but we saw him in spurts. But how many people were dogging him last year because they saw his 40 time and they just had this crazy assumption that he didn't know how to cover and he couldn't cover and and I'm like, and I was just saying, hold back. This guy's being trained by the best. I mean, Troy Polamalu is one of the best safeties to play this game.
no doubt.
And he's been mentoring him since his college days. So I've had people yell and scream and cuss at me and tell me I'm stupid. He's never going to be a Troy Polamalu. The ironic thing is, you watch the broadcast, the announcers will pull up side-by-side footage. He reminds me so much of Troy Polamalu. And I feel like throwing it in those guys' faces who used to tell me I was
how
dumb.
couldn't he be? How couldn't he be, Bash? I mean, he's literally being trained. He's training with Troy Polamalu. Naturally, you're going to take it's almost like how do I want to say? It's kind of like he's like a carbon copy, right? He's tailoring his game to his mentor, right? So you're going to see the similarities. You're going to see things that are going to stand out. To say that he is or could be, Troy Polamalu is, the jury's out. And I know that a lot of us, including Izzy and I, we both last year when people were saying he's mini Polamalu, we were like, whoa, back that shit up. Like, relax. You're getting carried away. But now we're starting to see Huff come into his own game, bro. And he looks amazing. And he's so young. It's just, there's so much left here. He's going to be amazing.
And all those questions about his speed, when he had that pick six against the Rams, I think they clocked him at like 21 miles an hour or something like that. He did not look slow at all on that play. His football speed is off the charts, in my opinion. More than enough that you need for speed.
I don't know when you're going to when will you be disappointed by that 40? When have you been? Have you seen anything to date that disappoints you about the man's speed, the combine speed? I could give a damn about that right now. I see a guy that plays all over the place, man. IQ. That's what impresses me the most. His football IQ.
Oh yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. Man, Melissa's just going off in the chats. I can't even follow. I'm trying to read about my questions here. So Bashar, you see hit up Shanahan for Rodney Harrison to hit up more safeties under the Talanoa is so I don't get what you're saying, Melissa. Do you get that, John V or Brandon? Not sure what she's saying there.
You see, he hit up Shanny for Rodney Harrison's number to hit up more safeties to study.
Oh, to study on her telephone. No, who found
Yeah. That's dope.
I got you. So we're gonna go on to the next question, and
I did not know that.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither. And Melissa was mentioning Drake Greenlaw in the chat. He's definitely a wild card, you could say. He's just racking up tackles before he got hurt. He was looking pretty damn good. So we have another. So let's see who the surprise player from each side of the ball is, because I have mine. I'm gonna start off first on this one. Not that he's been doing so well the last few weeks, but in general, because people were saying, let's draft the safety. We're so thin at the position, and we need a safety. Yada yada yada. And there was a huge question mark. Nobody knew how good Hufanga was going to be this upcoming season. I thought he'd be a good player. I didn't know he was going to be on. I didn't think Hufanga was going to be on this level right off the bat. But the surprise player, I'd say, for my opinion, is Tayshaun Gibson, and we picked him up out of nowhere in the middle of training camp. I think it was like while we already had our first preseason game. I think we picked him up afterwards, but I wasn't really expecting much from the guy. People were bitching about that Jimmy Ward was going to miss all these games, and we were going to be out of our luck in these first few games because we had no free safety. And I think at one point Gibson was playing lights out. So he's easily my surprise guy. And it was great that we signed him. It was a great pickup, and he would look really nice at the Vico system early on. What do you guys think? A surprise player on defense.
Oh, for me, surprise player and most improved, are they the same?
Or just a surprise player? A player that stood out and surprised you so far the first half. Yeah,
I'd say probably Gibson too. Gibson has been. I mean, obviously they told Jimmy Ward that you're just gonna chill, bro. We're gonna move you over here. I mean, why would you disrupt the continuity that he's built there anyway? So yeah, Gibson for sure. I know he's had a down. I know he's had 2 games back to back that have been he struggled a bit. But definitely surprised me a lot, for sure.
It's otherwise we would probably be doomed with if we had somebody else in there. What do you think, Brandon?
I'd say Gibson as well, but I think also too. I'm gonna say Mosley. I think he's gone like 100 times better this season compared to last season. So that was my surprise before he got hurt. So I think that's my take on that one is Emmanuel Mosley for sure.
Mosley was playing, honestly, great point on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mosley was having a Pro Bowl season, and I know Mahoney says for whatever reason he chooses not to like him. He's never liked him all throughout his career, and he thinks that just because he got a pick six, you're saying like, no, he was playing really, really good way before he got the pick six. The pick six was the game he got injured. Like, no, he was. It's not always about getting the interceptions. It's about when teams throw your way and you're stopping the majority of those opportunities. You stand out in my book. And he was doing some stuff that I hadn't seen in quite some time. And on another note, Charvarius Ward, prior to that Chiefs game, was looking really, really nice on defense for us too. And that was like, oh wow, what a free agent signing on this one. Hopefully he steps up the rest of his game in the next second half, and we see some great elite play from him so far. Who would you guys would say was like the okay, so we did surprise players on offense. How about on defense? How about offense? Who did you guys have anybody that stood out in offense that kind of surprised you? It could be anybody.
No, not really, bro. I think everyone. I think the offense is, with the exception of CMC. I don't think I'm shocked by anyone right now. I mean, maybe. I mean, not even Jimmy surprised me. Not at all, really.
Jimmy's just Jimmy. Jimmy's Jimmy.
No one. I mean, not really at all, bro.
If anything surprised me, it was more so in a negative way. Because the lack of Danny Gray being used in this offense and him not playing is just it's just kind of making me scratch my head. Like, well, why isn't Danny Gray playing and why isn't he out there? I'd say not that he's playing a stellar role for this offense, but surprised in terms of the fact that he is serviceable and he doesn't look terrible, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I'd say Jake Brendel. We've had worse centers. We've had worse centers. Do I want a new center next year? Do I want to improve upon the position? I very much do. There are certain positions on this team that I want to improve upon, and that includes the quarterback. So,
I guess there's really no one on offense that's really surprised me much, bro. To be honest with you, I mean, okay, Brendel's been decent. There's nobody out there that's really surprised me, man. Honest to God, nobody.
How about you, Brandon?
I don't have no surprise either. I think everybody's kind of as expected, to be honest, especially this season. And with the addition of CMC, just be ready to see more impact with this offense.
All right, we're going to move on to the next topic. The next topic is this is on the defensive side of the ball, on defense. Who would you guys say right now is the weakest link on the defense?
Before we go there, I do want to say one thing about the offense, and partial as to why I don't have anyone that stands out to me is because, dude, honestly, the receivers are leading the league in drops, if I'm not mistaken. So, and Debo leads the crew. So yeah, the offense to me, if anything, there's no one that stands out to me, other than this. Then we lead the league in drops. That pisses me off.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to be better at catching the ball. I agree.
Go ahead. Defensively, what was the question again?
The weakest link on defense. Go ahead, Brandon.
So, the weakest link on defense. I think it's our interior D-line without Armstead there.
I agree.
It looks completely different. And you could tell the past 2 weeks before the Rams game, it wasn't there at all.
Yeah. Statistically, we were stopping the run a whole lot better when Armstead was in the lineup, even when Kinlaw was there too. And there was one game where Givens and Ridgeway had picked up the slack, but in general, they were getting eaten up in the middle, and the Chiefs game was a huge way to show that.
Spence, right? He's getting eaten alive.
Oh yeah, Akeem Spence. What do you think about the defense and who would you say their weakest link so far in the first half is?
I mean, it's the interior, bro. You can't deny that. Honest to God, you can't. It's one thing. Like this Kinlaw situation has me bugging, bro. I'm terrified. I just want the guy healthy. Armstead's foot worries me too, because we owe this dude a lot of money. And not for nothing, how much longer is this foot going to flare up? I said this on my show. I don't remember Armstead's foot ever being an issue. And now this plantar fasciitis has surfaced. And from what I'm reading and what I understand about it is that it can flare up quite frequently. It can happen often. So what does that mean for this? What does that mean? What does that mean for this foot?
Yeah. This is where we're missing DJ Jones for sure.
Without a doubt.
We had drafted a guy who was kind of like DJ Jones too. I'm trying to remember his name, and we pretty much put him on injured reserve for the whole season. If you guys I'm totally blanking on the dude's name, but I'll put it up in a second. And somebody put up a really good comment in the chat too. Where was it at? It was it was about my Danny Gray comment earlier. He said we drafted Danny Gray because of Lance got the arm to throw deep. Yeah, Lance Lance in the picture with Danny Gray would make things look a whole lot different. And I just think it's pretty sad for Jimmy G to be in the league this long and still struggle with certain things. I'm not here to sit there and rag on him. People think I'm the world's biggest Jimmy G hater. I get DMs from people telling me never to crap on Jimmy G and don't disrespect him. And it's like, hey, I'm sorry. I comment on the games that I watch, but he still hangs the ball up in the air on his deep balls. And every time I've seen him try to throw to Danny Gray, it has been pretty. One more thing. See, Channel 49 says I'm real surprised that Debo Debo's fell off.
And Raphael said it was Kalia Davis.
Kalia Davis, yes, there you go.
Yes,
there you go. 49's first takes here. What's up, Aaron? Kalia Davis. Yeah, that was the guy that we kind of drafted to kind of help, soften the blow of losing Danny Jones, DJ Jones, that is. I think he might be pretty good for us. And Ryan from where No Border Sports, who was on here earlier in the chat earlier, he mentions it too. And I've mentioned it in the past, and I've kind of shared the same thoughts with him. It'd be nice to just have one big, huge 340-pound blob just sitting there in the middle, just some huge guy to plug up space. Because even if you look at Hassan Ridgeway, he's supposed to be that guy. He's a lot leaner and more athletic looking than your typical interior, huge nose tackle type guy that's going to plug up the middle. He just doesn't, it'd be nice to have a big, heavier dude in the middle for that, don't you think?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks losing Armstead, and we keep losing Armstead. And we thought Kinlaw was kind of going to be that guy, but you can't depend on the guy. Like honestly, you said you were still thinking about him, and you're mad about it. I'm not even mad about it anymore because it's totally. I'm just forgetting Kinlaw's name at this point in time. I'm not even expecting him to come back. Bro. I just think of him as not even being on the team. That's where I've gone with this. What do you think, Brandon?
Dude, I loved Kinlaw, bro. I loved him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh no, I was just saying me too.
Okay. All right. He says me too, and I see Melissa dropping F-bombs in the chat. Yeah, there you go. First takes. Like the Packers had Gilbert Brown. That guy used to piss me off. This huge 350 pound dude with that big shield on his face mask, and he was causing us problems at one point. Man, that guy was just such a load, and we need a load in the middle, one dude at least. So who do you got? I already have mine. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna finish this one off. Actually, you guys start off. Go ahead, John B. Start off on this one. Who do you think the weakest league so far in the first half of this season has been on offense so far?
Oh my God, it's McGlinchey, no doubt about it.
Yeah, play for it,
dude. The guy's getting muscled by DBs. I mean, he's literally getting lazy and shitty. And I'm tired of it. Like he's sloppy, and I'm tired of it. I really, to be honest with you, bro, there was one right tackle that I was very fond of, that I liked a lot, and unfortunately, he's in Cleveland. His name's Jack Conklin, and he is what this team needs at the right tackle position. Someone that stays, that has a firm base through 4 quarters of fucking football, bro. This is what we need. Not McGlinchey, who gets so sloppy that by late in the third quarter, DBs are knocking him clean on his ass backwards, bro. We can't have this. We need to draft a right tackle. We need to go into the draft looking for a center and a right tackle in free agency.
He looks McGlinchey's 6'8", and he looks like he's barely tipping the scales of 300. Like 300 on a 6 foot guy is going to look pretty big, but if you're 6'8", you're like stretched out. I mean, you got to be a bit heavier than that, don't you think?
Sure, but I mean, even if he was just capable of doing his job, Bash, for 3.5 quarters of football, bro, he gets so sloppy, and I guess I don't know what's going on with the dude. I know Izzy can't stand McGlinchey, bro. I know she can't stand him, but I'm right there with her, bro. McGlinchey is by far the weakest link on the offense, by far.
Yeah, that was my pick too. And with McGlinchey, I know people said that he's a great run blocker, and I used to defend McGlinchey more than anybody, but this season I just said nope. After watching what he's done this season, because now it's like the bad plays that he's putting up this year are becoming a whole lot more consistent with his bad plays. Before, it was like he'd have a kind of solid game, and the one major bad play would kind of stand out like a sore thumb. Now you see the bad plays just stacking up on top of each other more often than not, that is. And his run blocking isn't really standing out as being dominant as it used to be. If anybody can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But it's just I liked McGlinchey a whole lot better when he was joking around and doing funny stuff with Joe Staley. Now that Staley's gone, I don't know, man. Hopefully we look
Staley kept him upright, Bash. Staley kept that dude dialed in. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that Staley kept him dialed in. Like, if he was slacking, Staley was there to pick him up and be like, dude, hold your fucking ground.
I agree.
I feel like Staley was literally reaching over and holding dude up. I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I agree.
Very interesting for this season. So let's just talk about this right now. So we talked about the weakest links and all that, and who's disappointing and all that. We can kind of let's say this, because we all had kind of some sure we all had predictions before the season. And we're at the midway point now. So some of these things can turn around and twist around and return for the better. But so far, we all have predictions for what player may do this and what player may do that. Do you guys have any predictions for certain players or certain expectations for certain players that you were pretty much wrong about so far? If Brandon wants to start off first, or John V, just as somebody that you were kind of hyped up and you thought would do pretty well, and he hasn't really panned out to your expectations so far, who would that be?
Go ahead, B.
I can throw out names. So because, I can start this one off. Okay, so Brandon, do you have one? Oh, that's why he's frozen. That's why. Okay, I think he'll be back. Here, I'm gonna throw you a bone there, John V, in the chat right now. You're gonna see it. Okay, Brandon. Brandon, do you have one? Do you have a player that's like a disappointing, not say disappointing player, but a player that you were pretty much wrong about, that you thought would look a lot better this season and he hasn't so far in this early part of the season?
Honestly, I'm gonna agree with John. Mike McGlinchey, the guy is getting chokeholds and stuff. So. Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me it's probably Womack.
Womack, there you go. That's a good one.
I think I had higher expectations for Womack. I don't know what's gone on. I don't know what happened, bro. I really don't. Womack for me, man. I had high expectations for Womack.
Yeah, I got a couple. So from what we saw last year in the season when he stepped in, and I was looking for him to step up, and he looked pretty good in certain games last year, was Ambry Thomas. And I was expecting him to build upon that this upcoming season, but early on in training camp, they said he was looking really, really bad, and the preseason he wasn't looking good, and this season, whenever he's played, he hasn't looked good, and I don't know what's wrong with him. To be honest with you, hang on, let me get rid of these spammers. Okay,
I remember. Okay. Do you remember a presser bash when D'Amico was asked about Ambry Thomas and Diamador Lenore? And do you remember what he said during camp?
I did not remember that.
He said something like, Ambry and Demo were just not quite there yet. And it raised concern for me right away because obviously we spent a 3rd round pick on Ambry Thomas, right? Right? Was it 3rd? Yeah, it was a 3rd. We invested such high capital in this corner, and we were hearing now in camp that this guy's just not quite there. And then Demo just comes out and separates himself from that conversation. Is like that dude listened to D'Amico and just pulled like a 360. So for me, I would definitely say it was Womack. I think I had higher expectations from what we were getting, from what we heard, what we saw in the preseason.
Yep.
I think that essentially hurt. That one got me for sure.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw a little curveball in there because it's more so because I think not that he's not doing well or not playing good. It's more so of my expectations for him were a lot higher than what we're getting right now with this player. And another guy on the defensive side of the ball, that's Drake Jackson. Now I still love the pick. I still like the player, and I'm glad we made the pick where we made him. I still kind of think he's a steal at where we got him, but I was predicting 10 sacks for this upcoming season, and we're not necessarily at that level just yet. And he hasn't so far as his game goes, as far as what it looks like on the field, I was kind of expecting more of a D Ford type boost to this defense, and we're not getting that speed from the outside rush that I thought we were going to get right off the bat. Now, where he's more successful is when they kind of mix him around on the inside pass rush, and that's where he has success. And in general, he has shown he has more wins and losses on the field than anything else. But I was thinking that 10 sacks right off the bat his rookie year, and maybe it's something we might see next year, not necessarily this year. A lot of people think maybe he needs to get it, cut up a little bit and get a little bit more ripped up to try to get that, be more of a speed guy on the outside. But I did have really high expectations for Drake Jackson this year, and hopefully in the second half, if we do make it to the postseason, that he exhibits more of that talent. So
I think Drake Jackson has been all right. I think I expected a little more too, bro, because we heard that hype about how we finally drafted someone opposite Nick Bosa that can bend.
Some people were saying Aldon Smith, and I was like, well, let's not say that just yet.
Yeah. But we heard a lot of hype around Drake Jackson, right? We were like, oh, we finally got someone to complement Bosa on the other end. He can bend and he can contort his body and he can do all these things. And I guess I'm not so much disappointed. I think I expected a little bit more, but I do think we see, he got home during that Kansas City game, though, right? He got home. There's flashes for Drake Jackson, so I do believe that it may be too soon just to let's see how he does second half of the season. But who's really kind of let me down, bro? I had higher expectations from Kerry Hyder.
Okay, I didn't think he was going to be that much involved, but go ahead.
I really did, bro. I really did. Because now I'm starting to see the guy who left for Seattle play in Seattle. When he was here in San Francisco, he had 7 or 8 sacks or whatever he had.
Yeah, he played so much better when we first brought him on board.
He played so much better. Now I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. I really can't think of anybody else that let us down, bro. on the
How about
defensive side.
How about you, Brandon? Anybody here?
I mean, I know he's hurt right now and everything, but I want to say El Shair was
Yeah,
a lot from him this season, even though he is hurt right now. Um, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting him to go down so early. So that's
yeah,
my.
that sucks. Yeah, and another one actually that comes to mind is Ray McLeod. I was expecting him to be a bigger impact in the return game right off the bat. Offensively, I've seen some mess ups here and there, and I know some of it goes to Jimmy, but I just
The drop
expected
ball.
like the highlights that I saw of him in Pittsburgh, and either as a receiver, either playing in the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or either being a return man for the Pittsburgh Steelers. My eyes got big. I was like, "Oh wow, we got this guy! Wow, this is so cool! Wow, he's gonna be so good for us." And it's almost like a work in progress with him so far. Not that he's looked bad. Not that he looked bad as of late. He's looked all right as of late, but I just expected more. My expectations were a bit higher going to the season.
Yeah,
He reminds me of Richie James, bro.
Yeah.
2.0. He's like
Oh,
Richie
my
James
gosh.
2.0 on the returns. On the returns. I feel like, there's times where this boy's got to just down it, bro. Let's just get to 25 yards because, bro, you're not getting it there.
Yeah.
He's just not shocking me at all, bro. He actually worries me more than anything because he's very slim build, and I don't think that he can absorb these hits, bro. I think that's what worries me. I think that's what worries me the most.
So
Definitely.
So my brother-in-law is actually a Steelers fan, and he's seen the way Ray's been playing. He's like, this is why the Steelers got rid of him.
Is that
right? I mean,
oh,
right there. Plus the
Okay.
drop balls. He's had a lot of drop balls too, as well.
So before we wrap up, we're just going to talk about what we have going on after the bye week. So the Chargers is going to be a Sunday Night Football, November 13th. Then it's going to be Monday Night Football versus the Cardinals, November 21st, the game in Mexico. So that's going to be Chargers are at home. The game in Mexico is kind of going to be a home game. There's way more Niner fans in Mexico than there are Cardinal fans. The Saints game, that's going to be at home. Then you got the Dolphins, and then you have the Buccaneers. That's also a home game. So a lot of home games pretty much coming up, and we should make our best use of it. These next 4 or 5 games are going to be huge telltale sign of what this team actually is made of. And it's not going to be like when we play the Rams, where we beat the Rams and we have no idea what we're made of because we always beat them. What do you guys think of these next games coming up?
Oh man, the Mexico City game is kind of exciting, right? A lot of fans are excited to get out of here and go to Mexico City and cheer on the Niners. I think that'll be a good time, man. That'll be a fun one to watch. I don't know, man. I think this bye was so necessary for everyone to get healthy and get rested and just get their minds right. Right out of the gate, though.
Did I lose you?
No. I hit the mute by mistake.
Oh, okay. You said right out of the gate, though. Then
The Chargers game kind of worries me a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
Justin Herbert, he's a really good quarterback. When you play the team with the more superior quarterback, it's gonna have you thinking things, man. And I get it.
Justin Herbert kind of worries me a little bit. I don't know, bro. I guess Kyler Murray freaks me out. I'm not sweating the Saints game.
Yeah, the way Kyler Murray runs around like Pac-Man against us pisses me off.
I'm trying to think. Like, it's Kyler Murray. I think the Arizona game worries me the most
because it's that division crap. It's always that division crap.
It's Kyler. He's so. But the thing about it is that Kyler starts to break down as the season progresses. As we get into the stretch of the season, he gets banged up. He starts to make mistakes, right? He gets his ankles get rolled. I don't know. Kyler breaks down as we get into the stretch. So I just want to win the division, bro. I want to win the division. We're favored. We're favored in the NFC, not the NFC West. We are favored in the NFC. I was listening to John Chapman, and I didn't even realize that we were second favorites in the NFC. I did not know that.
I didn't think we were. I didn't think people are saying it still, but I still have some doubts for this team. Melissa, question for you, and you can go ahead and say your thing after you acknowledge this question.
All right. So for Izzy, I'm gonna say no, I wasn't. But I was also gonna say is after we got Christian McCaffrey, our odds got a lot better.
That's true.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
So I think that's another reason why too. But the Arizona game doesn't worry me. Arizona looks lost out there. That team is a complete shit show this year. So I don't know. I'm not really worried about it. And I think if we win against the Chargers and the defense plays as they have been for the first 5 weeks of the season, we should be okay.
Right.
And my question to you guys is, do you guys think we have the easiest schedule remaining out of the whole NFL?
I haven't sat and compared our schedule to other teams, so I can't necessarily say yes or no on that one. But in general, I don't think it's easy because I just don't know exactly what this team is still.
Yeah.
I still think the jury remains on this team in general.
Well, remember too that
What's up, Brian? I see you.
A lot of injured players back too.
That is true. We're going to have the luxury of bringing a lot of players back. What do you think, John V?
I don't know about. I haven't compared the whole league either, but the Miami game's not going to be easy, bro.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if Tom Brady and the Bucs are going to be easy either. You know, and I don't know, bro. I think we still have to beat Arizona twice, right?
Yeah.
We have to beat them twice. We have to beat Seattle at Seattle. Miami is probably my most concerning. Miami for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and now they got Bradley Chubb too, and he goes up against McGlinchey, and they're going to put him on McGlinchey the whole time, so that's not going to be fun.
It's just how much they capitalize with the capital that they gained from us to move up. To what they've managed to do with that capital, and guys that we released. It's just like a small. It's just I don't know, bro.
Our saving grace is that Trey Lance has to be a beast, and they'll just cry and say, "Oh, well, I wish we had Trey Lance instead of Tua," but we won't know until Trey Lance sits there and play full seasons yet, you know. So that's pretty much it.
Oh hell yeah, is he? Me too.
Tommy Huxley's here. Says I'm 45. I'm old, 45 today. I guess it's your birthday, right? Happy birthday, Tommy.
Happy birthday, Tommy.
Yeah, you came in. Why are people coming in so late to my shows? All these people that I've known for about a year or 2 years or 5 years, and then they come on here when I'm just about to close the show off. I don't get that.
Brian, you think that we split with the Seahawks? I don't know, man. I think we can handle the Seahawks. I'm not really worried about the Seahawks.
I think we can handle the Seahawks too, regardless of how good Geno Smith's playing right now. I still think we beat them.
Their defense is still not that great, and honestly, I've been watching CG's NFL or NFC West thing with the other guys, like for the Cardinal fan and all that stuff. And who is it? The Seahawks fan. I forget his name, but he's high on his team right now, man. It's crazy.
Doesn't that to do with the dude with the funny voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
But
guy. He's a big Seahawks homer, dude. That guy.
Hella high on this team. I was like, yo, you need to chill, fam.
He's a big Seahawks homer. I know exactly who you're talking about.
I mean, they do
something dog.
Do,
what's his name? Something dog. I forgot.
Yeah,
they are doing better than I thought. And Geno Smith is playing the best ball of his career. I give it to him.
Yeah. That's revamping his career, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. I just want to give a huge shout out to a lot of people in the chat. Some people came in early, some people came in late. Saw some new faces that I didn't necessarily recognize. I don't know if they're friends with Tony's or Brandon's or just random people that just walked in, but everybody's welcome to come on here. So shout out to everybody in the chat who makes it happen in the chat with all the questions and comments. We can't get to every single question though, just if any, but we try our best. Oh yeah, you're talking about Sam Dog. Yeah, that's who it is. Sam.
Yeah,
that's to do with the. I knew it was something dog. I knew it was something dog. Oh man, he's gonna be in for a letdown when we play him. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, he may be a cool guy, but he's gonna be in for a letdown when we play him. But again, thank you, Brandon and John V. If you guys want to plug your channels really quick, go right ahead, and then we're gonna close it out.
Go ahead.
baby.
You first, bro.
Okay. You guys can find me over at For a Faithful Podcast. I'm part of the 49ers Hype Crew. We'll be doing a crossover show with Zach and Matt of the Red and Gold Standard Podcast. So make sure you catch us on Sunday. I don't know exactly what time yet, but I know it's going to be Sunday. So catch me, Christian, Zach, Matt, and Dion over on that show to just do the same thing as we did here tonight. Do a recap of the first half of the season and everything like that. And we're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff for Faithful Podcast. And yeah.
Thank you, Brandon. And how about you, John V?
I want to take a second. I'll shout out the chat. Raph, Izzy, killing it always. Izzy is always supporting every Niner channel. She's doing her best. She's got the memory of an elephant. I always say she can remember anything and everything, bro. If you ever need a reference, man, she's there. Izzy, thanks for chilling, and always enjoy your feedback and your pushback. Love it. My channel is the Locker Room Rant family. Two of my best friends and I, so it was three best friends, a Browns fan, a Bills fan, and a 49ers fan. And we chop up our respective teams. We talk the NBA, we talk baseball. We'll talk just about any sport that you want to talk about. If you come on in and you want to talk about something in particular, we will cover it. We will do our best to do what we do. Shout out to my boys, Nick and Tony. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. B, you're always there supporting the channel. Bash, this brother from another mother, man. Always appreciate you, bro. You always shout out the channel just about every time you go live, bro. And I couldn't be more grateful, man. I appreciate you so much.
As long as you're in the chat, I'll mention you guys. So again, appreciate for having both you guys on. Thank you guys for coming on 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace.
Later, family.
Come on, 49 faithful, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick done quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood and